Hey guys, it's Jimmy here and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video. This time we're looking at a mod called the FF1 2015 mod. It's a mod for Formula 1, as you can probably work out by now. But for the 2014 cars, obviously because the 2015 cars don't actually exist, I'm not quite sure why they've called it 2015, but that's down to them. As you can see, I'm driving a Ferrari, the Fernando Alonso Ferrari to be exact, and we are at its home track, as many would argue. We are at Monza, home of the Tifosi. So I'm going to be loved and adored here. I'm also using my F1 Ferrari rim just to get into the spirit of things, as you can hear in the background. See the nice fantastic click of the F1 rim, as those from my stream will recognise. We're going to do a couple of laps. I'm going to talk you through the mod, what I think, and we know obviously you'll be free to download it afterwards. I'll put the link in the description for this mod. If you want to download it, it will be there for you. And yeah, let's jump in, shall we? So as you can see in the top left here, I've put on the corner names. That's an app that I didn't realise existed. It's called Track Description, and the app's on the right. And it'll basically just tell you what corner you're going through, which I think is pretty awesome. Obviously a labour of love from our Italian developers at Kunos for an Italian track. So let's get on with it. Let's get out of the pits. I'm using the Cockpit View. There are a couple of other views, including the Codemasters view, as I like to call it, which makes me ill. And back in there, and then off the pit limiter. We'll kind of chill out for the first lap, just kind of get into swing of things. First thing you'll notice straight away, or I notice straight away, you see that? That's the force feedback. Very odd force feedback in this mod. I've actually turned it down from 100% to 69%, and I'm still getting this odd wiggle, which is somewhat weird. What I'm going to be doing is running a standing start. I'm going to go around the pit straight, stopping around the pit block and do a standing start, because I want to see what this thing's like. I was, back in the days of Stroll 97, I was known for my standing start, so I want to see if I can carry it over to a car that's arguably a lot more difficult to start, being the V6 turbo that it is. Going through the first Lesmo now and through the second Lesmo. I used to honestly think those corners were called the Lesbos when I was about 12 years old. So thankfully now I'm a little bit more educated, or I'll be overrun with feminists and those who strive for equality, saying, how dare a young man make a mistake like that in today's society. Nice and slow for a Ascari. So just a kind of precursor, this car is very difficult to drive. Lots of power from the turbo, obviously it all comes very suddenly, very kind of quick deliverance of power. So there may be a couple of instances where I spin, but I'll obviously try not to. I'll have to try to drive somewhat well for you. I am driving a low downforce setup, obviously this being Monza and all, so there are going to be some instances where I'm a little bit squirrely on the brakes and probably looking like I'm going to spin, but hopefully I'll be able to keep it all together for the majority of this video anyway. So let's just find a random pit spot, shall we? So do one last wipe of the brakes. Do the old do that in third gear, which is pretty hilarious. Let's just start here. We'll start about, I don't know, 6th on the grid. No, now 6th on the grid. There you go. So I'm in my pit stop now, probably. Who knows? Pull the revs up a little bit. And clutch. Oh, wheel spin at the start. Off the throttle again. Wheel spin. Okay, we're away. This thing does have DRS. You can pretty much use it whenever you want. Similar to R Factor. It's not really a limiter on it yet. Actually, there are a couple of instances, I think, in R Factor where the DRS is limited if you have the track built in. But in this current kind of test mode I'm in now, with the Ferrari and Monza, there is no kind of restriction on DRS. I'm using it now, going around Curva Grande, and as you can see, you're building up to, you know, ridiculous speeds, having to brake quite early because of the speed. They're still not going particularly fast. The feeling of this car isn't too great, to be honest, from this mod. I feel a very difficult time telling if I'm actually gripping or not. The steering is just heavy, rather than actually gives any sort of detailed feedback. I have no idea when the car is loose and when it's not. Apart from there, when you run over the curbs, you get a little bit of feel there, which is nice. Obviously these cars run quite low, so it's kind of rewarding, I guess, to have a car that actually does not go on the curbs, and you rewarded for avoiding them and being quick. Slowing down to 4th gear for a Ascari, probably in 5th gear, very weird. I haven't really driven cars with 8 gears very often, so it's very odd to have to adjust on what gear I'm in. Use DRS down here because it's a big straight. 8th gear is in this car, and I'll show you what happens when you get into 8th gear as we get onto the main straight to go around the Parabolica. Luckily we're on the old Parabolica, which has the gravel runoff, because if we do go off then we can't just bugger off around again and gain speed, and that's something I feel very strongly about. Anyway, DRS on. So we're up in 7th gear now, shifting to 8th gear, 210 mile an hour, and look, our HUD on our screen is frozen. I have no idea what causes that, but it's obviously issues. I completely outbrake myself for the first corner, trying to break at the 100-meter board there, but obviously not working. And the bumps there really messing with the car, really disliking having to go over those, which is what they're designed for, really, to slow you down. So then, sound. It sounds like a generic V6 F1 car, I guess, which is a good thing because it is a generic V6 F1 car. The best sounds are probably when you're slowing down or in low RPM. You can hear the whistling in the turbo, which is nice. High RPM doesn't sound as nice. Sounds a little bit like a moped, to be honest, a 4-stroke moped. But to be honest, to be fair to the guys who made the mod, they haven't really got much to work with, have they? I mean, there was a time when the Monza, rung with the sound of glorious V12 Ferrari, but those days are long past gone now. Very disappointing enough, which is very sad. As we break down there, which reminds me there is going to be a bonus clip at the end of this video, so definitely stay tuned for that little bonus clip. I think you'll enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed doing it. As you come through a Cascario once again, using the super soft tires at the moment just to try and have a little bit of grip for the video. I've already messed up once, so it's not really helped, does it? Nice and easy through there. I feel like I have to be so soft on the throttle on the exit. This is full throttle. I'll open DRS now, just on the exit, a little bit screwy coming off. See if we can do a quick lap, shall we? This will be interesting. I'm not really try going out too fast around here. As we get up to 8th gear again, 210, changing gear, hub broken. Let's brake just past the 150. Yeah, so we braked at 100 last time, so we still have 25 metres where we could have braked there. And trying to avoid that inside curve, got the power nice and late, because we rock at this game. You see the back end starting to wiggle a little bit now under the load here, going through Curva Grande. Very terrifying, that must be going through the DRS open and braking before the bridge. So we're carrying a lot more speed, a little bit of a lock up on the way in, curb and curb on the way out. And DRS up to the first lesson. Let's reuse DRS in any little mini straight you have here because that is the advantage. Apparently it doesn't close, which is odd. So you have to close the DRS on your own. I'm unsure if that's true or not. We'll try again at Ascari. There's no indicators to know if the DRS is open or not, nothing on the steering wheel, and there's no visual cue on the wing, as you can see there. I've got DRS open now apparently, but I actually haven't, so I can't see what I'm doing. That view there of the nose reminds me of F197. Really struggling the car through Ascari, trying to get on the power, but it's just not possible. And this 4C wiggle is really quite something. I'm just letting the wheel do what it wants right now, it's just doing this, I'm just barely keeping it in control. That is the sign of a bodged physics mod as we spin. I'm not sure if that was... Look at the guy, he's having a little grope down there. That's funny. But yeah, I'm not sure if that was due to us having a little bit interesting through Ascari, having some hot rear tyres, or because the DRS is eternally stuck open, there's no way to find out. But yeah, if you're into your F1 cars, I'm pretty sure you'll find some enjoyment for this, especially if you're into the new regs. I know I'm not, new regs irk me to all hell, but I'm not going to rant about that because that is a story definitely for another day. Otherwise though, I can't say it's one of the better mods for Assetto Corsa I've tested. I don't test many mods for Assetto Corsa, only those that I think will be interesting. This was one of them, and I found myself a little bit left wanting. I always find it hard to be nasty about mods, or not be critical of mods. Probably a better way of putting it, isn't it? Because they're done for free, they're labours of love, but I kind of wish that if you're going to release a mod, it's perfect before release. Like in my opinion of perfect anyway. There's some people out there might think this handles fine, which is cool for them. They've definitely got the power right on this car. It's very immediate, very difficult, and easy to get loose at any time, as I'm demonstrating flawlessly. But something else I want to very quickly just go over is this car has what I like to call the iRacing spin on it. That you just don't feel when the car's going to go, it just goes. And as a sim racer, that is the most frustrating thing in the world, because you don't know what you've done wrong in the car. You're not getting the feedback from the wheel to tell you, okay, you were a bit too cheeky through there. The car starts to get loose a little bit. You continue on the throttle and you spun. You just spin for no reason, and that's very annoying. But yeah guys, that's really all I have to say about this car for now. The link for this is in the description, like I said at the start of the video, so if you want to try it out then feel free. There is a installation guide within the folder, so it's not too hard to install, but you probably want to give it a read through just to make sure. And yeah guys, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I will see you next time.